Imagine for a moment that you are not chasing anyone's attention. Instead, you are simply living in a way that makes your presence unforgettable. True influence isn't about force, it's about resonance. A song lingers in your mind not because it screams to be remembered, but because its melody aligns with something within you. Similarly, when your actions, energy, and words align with authenticity, people cannot help but keep you in their thoughts. To be remembered, you must first learn the art of leaving an impression that touches something deeper than the surface. It's not about clever lines or staged images. It's about living in a way that makes others feel something profound. People do not recall facts, they remember how you made them feel. A moment of genuine connection, a spark of laughter, or an act of kindness can echo in their memory long after the moment has passed. Understand that the mind craves mystery and depth. If you reveal everything at once, there's no reason for curiosity to remain alive. Carry a sense of purpose, a silent confidence, and an inner world that others long to explore. Presence becomes magnetic when it is fueled by growth, when you are always learning, expanding, and surprising even yourself. Those who remain on others' minds are not stagnant. They are a story still unfolding. Equally, never underestimate the power of consistency. A single spark catches attention, but it is the steady flame that provides warmth. When your actions align with your values repeatedly, people come to trust not just what you say, but who you are. This trust weaves a lasting thread in their consciousness, ensuring you are not easily forgotten. Lastly, remember that to live rent-free in someone's mind is not to demand their attention, but to inspire it. You stay on their mind not by trying to control what they think, but by becoming someone who naturally occupies space in their thoughts, a reminder of growth, possibility, and depth. When you embody this, you don't just stay on their mind. You become part of their inner dialogue, a voice that lingers long after the conversation has ended. Authenticity resonates longer than performance because what is real carries a vibration that cannot be imitated or rehearsed. When you meet someone who is unapologetically themselves, their presence stays with you, not because they were flawless or put on a show, but because they were undeniably genuine. Performance can impress for a moment, but authenticity imprints itself in memory. People may not remember every word you say or every action you take, yet they will remember how your presence made them feel. When what you say, what you do, and who you truly are align, there is a harmony that feels effortless and magnetic. In a world where so many are performing, trying to become what others expect, the rare individual who has no mask instantly stands out. Authenticity speaks to something primal within us. It gives permission for others to drop their own guard and be real. It's a reminder of what is true, and truth lingers long after the moment passes. Performance, by nature, is temporary. It requires energy to sustain and often collapses the moment scrutiny is applied. The person who performs for approval lives in constant tension, always scanning for reactions, always adjusting to meet expectations. Over time, this erodes trust because people instinctively sense when something is being presented rather than lived. Authenticity, on the other hand, requires no act. It is not about being perfect or having all the answers. It is about standing comfortably in your own reality, allowing your actions to emerge from your genuine values and beliefs. When people experience that kind of honesty, they feel safe because there is no hidden agenda. This safety is what makes authenticity unforgettable. It creates a connection that performance can only mimic but never replicate. Living authentically also creates resilience. When you perform, criticism feels like an attack on the mask you wear, and so you scramble to defend it. But when you are authentic, criticism may sting, yet it cannot shake your foundation because you are not acting for others in the first place. There is an unshakable calm that comes from knowing that whether others approve or not, you are still aligned with who you are. This alignment has a quiet power. It does not need to be broadcast because it is felt. People naturally remember those who carry such grounded energy because it is rare and compelling. Moreover, authenticity creates lasting influence. A performance fades when the curtain falls, but authenticity weaves into the fabric of another person's memory. It becomes a reference point for sincerity and truth in their own lives. They might not remember the details of what you did, but they will remember the integrity of your being. The most magnetic people are not those who demand attention, but those who embody such realness that you cannot help but think of them long after they are gone. Authenticity is a legacy, and while performance may win applause in the moment, only what is true continues to echo in the minds and hearts of others. To create emotional impact is to reach beyond the surface of words and actions and touch the part of a person that lingers long after the moment has passed. People rarely remember exact details, but they always remember how they felt in your presence. Emotional impact does not come from trying to impress or overwhelm. It comes from authenticity, intention, and the ability to connect with others on a level that transcends the ordinary. It is in the way you look at someone and truly see them, the way you listen not to reply but to understand, and the way you offer words or gestures that speak directly to the heart. When you create a moment that stirs genuine feeling, whether it is laughter, comfort, inspiration, or even quiet reflection, you carve a lasting place in someone's memory. Emotional impact is born from presence. When your mind is fully where your body is, people feel the weight of your attention. They sense when they are being valued rather than merely tolerated. In a distracted world, undivided attention is a rare gift, and it is one of the most powerful ways to create a lasting impression. To make someone feel understood is to give them an experience they will carry with them, because every human being yearns to be seen for who they truly are. Emotional impact is not about grand gestures. It often lies in the smallest, most sincere interactions. A simple word of encouragement at the right time or a moment of shared silence can linger longer than elaborate displays. The heart remembers what the mind forgets, and emotional impact depends on your ability to awaken something within another person. When you speak with passion, your words carry a vibration that goes beyond the surface. When you share a story that holds meaning, it invites others to find a part of themselves in it. This is why vulnerability is so powerful, because when you dare to be real, you give others permission to do the same. Emotional impact thrives in spaces where people feel safe enough to let their guard down and connect with something true within themselves. Creating emotional impact also requires empathy. It is the capacity to step into another's experience and meet them where they are. When you understand what someone is feeling and respond with sincerity, your presence becomes more than just another moment in their day. It becomes a memory woven into the fabric of their emotions. Emotional impact leaves a residue of feeling that continues to echo, making it nearly impossible to forget the person who created it. At its core, emotional impact is not about controlling others' perceptions, but about living and engaging in a way that leaves the world a little different than it was before. It is the invisible thread that binds moments to memory, ensuring that when people think back, they recall not just what was said or done, but the way it made them feel. To maintain an element of mystery and growth is to embrace the idea that you are an ever-evolving story, one that cannot be fully summarized or contained in a single moment. People are naturally drawn to what they cannot entirely predict or fully grasp. Mystery is not about withholding truths or playing games. It is about living with a depth that invites curiosity. When you carry yourself with quiet confidence, with an inner world rich in thoughts, dreams, and ambitions. You become someone others want to understand. A sense of mystery is born not from secrecy, but from the endless unfolding of who you are. A reminder that there is always more to discover. Growth feeds this mystery because when you are constantly learning, changing, and expanding, no one can quite pin you down. You are not static, you are alive, and that aliveness keeps people intrigued. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, withholding the need to constantly explain yourself makes your presence stand out. When everything about you is on display, curiosity dies because there are no new layers to uncover. Maintaining an element of mystery means leaving space for others to wonder, to imagine, and to want to know more. It is not about creating distance, but about nurturing depth. A depth that only reveals itself to those who take the time to truly see you. This sense of layered existence makes interactions more meaningful because people understand there is more beneath the surface than what meets the eye. Growth, on the other hand, ensures that your mystery never fades. When you are dedicated to evolving, you become a living testament to the idea that life is a continuous journey of becoming. People who witness your growth feel inspired because they see in you the possibility of their own evolution. They remember you not just for who you are, but for the way you transform, adapt, and rise beyond limitations. Growth keeps your story open-ended, and an open-ended story always invites anticipation for the next chapter. Maintaining mystery and growth also creates an energy of magnetism. When you are curious about life itself, others become curious about you. They sense that you are not confined by the familiar or trapped by old versions of yourself. Each encounter with you feels new because you carry the freshness of someone who is always expanding. Mystery holds attention, and growth sustains it. Together, they create a dynamic presence that lingers in the minds of others, compelling them to keep thinking about who you are and who you are becoming. Ultimately, to maintain an element of mystery and growth is to live in a way that keeps even you fascinated by your own journey. When you are in love with your own becoming, others cannot help but be drawn in. They remember not a fixed image, but the ever-changing, ever-unfolding essence of who you are, and this makes your presence unforgettable. To build consistency in actions and values is to create a foundation of trust that others can rely on. A steady rhythm that reassures them of who you are even when circumstances change. Consistency is not about perfection or rigid patterns. It is about the alignment between what you say, what you believe, and what you do over time. People remember those whose actions match their words because such integrity is rare. In a world filled with fleeting promises and shifting masks, a consistent presence stands out like a lighthouse, offering clarity and direction even in uncertain moments. When your values remain clear and your actions continue to reflect them, people begin to trust not just what you do, but who you are. That trust is what makes your presence linger in their minds long after any single moment or conversation has passed. Consistency builds a sense of familiarity that strengthens relationships and deepens respect. When someone knows that your actions will remain rooted in your principles, they feel safe investing their time and emotions in you. They do not have to second-guess your intentions or wonder if you will suddenly shift with the wind. This reliability is magnetic because it creates a kind of emotional security that people crave. Each interaction with you reinforces the idea that your values are not conditional and your behavior does not depend on convenience. This steadiness becomes a defining quality of your character, something that people carry with them whenever they think of you. At the same time, building consistency requires conscious effort and self-awareness. It means being willing to hold yourself accountable even when no one is watching. It requires the courage to choose actions that align with your principles, even when it would be easier or more profitable to compromise them. Each choice you make becomes a thread in the larger pattern of your life, weaving together a narrative of integrity. Over time, people come to associate your name and presence with reliability and authenticity, a rare combination that ensures you are remembered not for grand gestures, but for the constancy of your character. Consistency also strengthens your inner world. When your actions and values are aligned, you experience a sense of inner peace because you are not torn between what you believe and what you do. This harmony radiates outward, creating an energy that others find grounding and trustworthy. People are drawn to those who embody such balance because it offers a form of stability that many lack within themselves. Ultimately, building consistency in actions and values ensures that your presence resonates long after any moment has passed. Those who experience it are left with a sense of confidence and trust that cannot easily be shaken. They remember not isolated words or deeds, but the enduring pattern of someone whose life speaks of reliability, integrity, and unwavering alignment with what truly matters. To inspire rather than demand attention is to understand that true influence is never taken by force, but earned through energy you bring and the example you set. When you demand attention, you create pressure. People may comply for a moment, but their focus fades the moment the pressure is gone. Inspiration, on the other hand, plants itself deeply in the heart and mind, leaving a lasting impression that people carry with them. To inspire is to awaken something within others, to spark their curiosity, their hope, or their desire to grow, not because you insisted, but because your presence naturally encourages it. Inspiration is magnetic because it allows people to feel connected to something greater than themselves, something that moves them without the need for constant reminders or demands. The ability to inspire begins with living authentically. When your actions reflect your values and your words arise from genuine belief, people sense the sincerity behind what you do. They are drawn not because you asked for their attention, but because they see in you something they admire or aspire to become. Inspiration flows effortlessly when you embody qualities that resonate with the best parts of others. It may be your resilience in the face of challenges, your kindness in moments of tension, or your dedication to growth and learning. People remember those who make them feel capable of more, and this memory lingers far longer than the temporary recognition gained by demanding to be seen. Inspiring others also requires a focus on giving rather than taking. When your presence leaves people feeling enriched, supported, or uplifted, they naturally carry thoughts of you with them. This is why genuine encouragement has such staying power. It shifts something in a person's perspective, allowing them to see possibilities they might have overlooked. Demanding attention may get you noticed, but it often leaves no lasting impression because it centers on your needs, not theirs. Inspiration, in contrast, creates a shared moment of meaning that people are reluctant to let go of. There is also an element of humility in true inspiration. You do not need to constantly remind people of your worth because your actions speak louder than any word. Demanding attention often stems from insecurity, the fear of being overlooked, but inspiration arises from a quiet confidence that others cannot help but notice. The more you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, the more you naturally hold a place in people's minds. They think of you not because you insist upon it, but because they cannot forget the way you made them feel about themselves and what they could achieve. Ultimately, to inspire rather than demand attention is to create a ripple effect that endures. People are far more likely to remember